All right, so this is your GASGAS ECA 3. This is the 2023 model. I've had it for about a month now. So I figured I'd give you my kind of short-term review, what I've felt so far, positive, negatives. We'll just do a quick little bike check. Then I'll strap you up onto the GoPro and we'll go up for a ride and kind of talk about it as we go. So first things first, I immediately swapped to tubeless. I do not like running tubes. It's such an easy thing to do. Any mechanic can do it in 20 minutes. No big deal. What else did I do to this thing? Oh yeah, and then immediately put a ride wrap on it. It already had a scratch on it. Technically, I bought this thing used. But the guy who I bought it from really didn't ride it that much. I don't think it ever saw dirt, to be honest. So I just got an unreal deal on it and I couldn't say no to it. So yeah, ride wrapped everything. Gonna see a couple little bubbles, but whatever. What else did we do? Oh yeah, 220 rotor up front. Immediately felt the difference. I'd already bought Mavens for my DH bike. I hadn't put them on yet. And this bike comes with code RC? And I don't know, I just felt like after my very, very first ride in the dirt with this thing, I just felt like it was lacking a little bit of power in the braking, especially on the steep stuff. If you're not doing anything really steep, then I wouldn't worry about it. But, you know, I do live out here in BC and trails get pretty steep. So I figured with the 220 and the Mavens that I had already bought, I don't think I would have bought them specifically for this bike, but I'm really glad I have them on here now. Like you can just make them on off. Like they're so powerful, especially considering how heavy this bike is. Like you take the battery out of this thing and it's got to weigh, I don't know, 20 pounds at least, the battery alone. So yeah, I can't think of anything else. I put my Crank Brother pedals on, but I literally switch those between every bike I have. I have 3 bikes. Not trying to brag, they're all old, so don't worry about it. Kept the stock tires. I like Schwalbe, especially this combo. I think it's actually a really good combo. I've run it before on an enduro bike. And then once these wear down, I'll probably switch back to an ECA and THR2 in the back. Oh yeah, and then obviously I do this on every bike I have except for my DH bike. I immediately go with this EDC light. You always have a multi-tool no matter where you go. I think this is arguably the easiest and best upgrade you could make to any mountain bike. You never have to worry about forgetting a multi-tool. I do have some carbon bars on order. Kind of overkill, but I don't know. I run them on my enduro bike once again, and I just find they actually do help with arm pump. I do the 1-up carbon bars, and yeah, they're unreal. Now, negatives so far I've noticed about the bike that we can just talk about real quick before we head up on the trail. Dropper post itself, great, works fine, smooth, no problems. The lever, hunk of junk. Gets stuck all the time. Like you'll push it in and then it'll just stay out. Obviously right now it's not doing it, but I just ordered a 1-up one. I'll quickly swap those out, then whatever. It's literally a $30 upgrade. It's no big deal. Any other negatives? Oh, this one was really bad. It's another thing I had to upgrade almost immediately. I put in a Cane Creek Hellbender 70. The stock headsets on these things are useless. I switched them over myself. I took out the old headset and it's literally just like the open bearings where it's just a dish and you have the little individual balls sitting in the dish. It's a hunk of junk. For how well spec this bike is, I understand that GASGAS had to save some money wherever they could, and that was definitely one of them. The lever post is definitely one of them. But yeah, other than that, honestly, I've had no complaints at all. I'm trying to think, is there anything else I should sort of talk about here before we start talking about the actual performance of the bike? No, I think we're good. All right, so yeah, here's the 2023 GASGAS ECA 3. Absolute lovely, like love this bike so much. Couldn't be happier with it. So let's go do some riding. We'll talk about it as we go. We'll start with the climb because if you bought an e-bike, you probably bought it for the climbs. Let's be real. All right, I'll see you on the trail. Welcome back. All right, so let's be real. You bought an e-bike for this reason, the climbs. It's the only reason I bought one. I am currently on a 24-hour break between a day shift and a night shift. And what this e-bike allows me to do is fly up these climbs and get in so much more mountain biking than when I was on my pedal bike. I can climb 500 meters, not sure what that is in American units, freedom units, I'll put the conversion in the thing. But yeah, I can do 500 meters climbing under an hour easily, like easily. You flop this thing into turbo mode, which it currently is in, and you can just climb. You can still get in a decent workout, especially if you go into eco mode or one of the lower modes, but you're just time crunched. You're a new parent, you got a busy work schedule, weather issues, you only got a certain window, whatever it is. It just gives you the ability to get in so much more descending. And for the people out there, fair enough, if you're in here for pure cardio and all about climbing and Strava, hey, fair enough, teach their own. But to me, I just care about the descents. That's why if I could live at a bike park, I would. Shuttle days are the best. And like the grandfather of freeride mountain biking said, Wade Simmons, it's like having a chairlift in your garage with an e-bike. It's unreal. So yeah, let's talk about that. So right now, I got my suspension locked out. I'm in turbo mode. And as you can tell by my breath, I'm not struggling whatsoever. Whereas if I was in my normal enduro bike, I'd be huffing and puffing, probably half the speed. Would have had to shift gears for that switchback right there. So yeah, this is why I bought the e-bike. Now, the GASGAS specifically, the Yamaha, what is it, PWX, I think, PWX2? Unreal power. Like, you'll be in a high gear and you're like, oh, okay, this thing's powered out. You just drop a gear and it's no different than if you drive a manual car. Like, I got a little 6-speed manual car, and so you go to pass somebody, you just pop her down into fourth and the revs just kick right up, and unreal. It's no different than this. So like right now, just cruising. That's how I really want to pop a gear, and then it just gone. And like, I'm not even trying that much harder. It's unreal. And the amount of torque, like let's say you need to get up something steep, just pop it down another gear and you're gone. Battery life. Battery's massive on this bike, but in a good way. The weight on the descents, honestly, you feel a little bit, but nothing crazy. The amount of range you get out of this battery, I can do 500 meters climbing, which we'll do today. I'll go down 1 bar. That's it. Like, it's crazy. Hey man, how's it going, buddy? Not bad, man. Enjoying the weather? Have a good one, buddy. That's funny, you really don't see a lot of people out on these trails. Probably the first time I've ever seen somebody. Actually, no, that's not true. I have a couple times, but it's always awkward when you're talking to a camera and there's somebody sitting there. Alright, back to the review. So, we were talking about battery range. Yeah, so 500 meters, single bar, and that's in full turbo, like full turbo mode. I've yet to explore just how much range you can get with this bad boy if you were to do. So here, I'll go through our different options. Okay, so this is, oh my god. Okay, so this is e-bike off, basically. No power assist. Now, I think you're going against the drag of the motor, because this ain't normal. Okay, now 1 bar. This is a struggle. You're gonna have a workout if this is gonna be you all day. Okay, 2 bars. Bit better. Like honestly, this is kind of what it feels like to be on a normal bike. Like you can feel a drag from the motor. So I don't know. Like you definitely wouldn't want to get caught without battery power. If you got to climb ahead of you, oh, have fun. All right, so now we're into 3 bar. I would say this is just kind of normal. Oh, okay, I think I was in too low of a gear. Yeah, now we go. That's better. All right, now this is 4 green bars. And this is nice, honestly. You're not gonna fly to the top. You're just gonna cruise. Like, let's say you're riding with a bunch of friends who weren't on e-bikes. You just put it on this mode. Then you're actually breathing a little bit with them, and you're not making them feel jealous of how much easier it is for you. And then we'll go up 1 more. Wait, this isn't a turbo, is it? Oh wow, I guess it is. Forgot. Yeah, so I don't know. It honestly feels like I've only ever really ridden this thing in turbo. But I don't know if I'd want to ride in anything else, if I'm being honest. It's like, why'd you buy an e-bike if you just want to go slow and like still suffer on the climbs? I didn't sell any of my other bikes, so like this is not going to be my primary bike. It's just when it comes to convenient rides, or say you love a trail but you suck at the climb, then grab this bad boy and you're good to go. And if you guys have any questions, don't be afraid to leave them in the comments. We're still going to review this thing down a flow trail and down a tech trail. But just figured we'd talk about, you know, the most important difference really. All bikes nowadays, if you buy anything newer than a 2017, it's gonna perform. They really don't make bad bikes anymore. So when it comes to the descending, tech trails, jumping, they're all relatively the same. You make a couple tweaks here, a couple tweaks there, change your body positioning, change rubber on the tire, like they're all gonna kind of perform relatively the same. They'll all be safe, let's just say that. Whereas back in the day, you had no idea if your head tube's gonna snap off or chainstay's gonna break, or who knows, tire punctures all the time. But yeah, this is a So let's talk about how this bike handles the jump trails, the flow trails, your machine groomed sort of stuff. The 29 front and back flows unreal. It carries so much momentum. This is my first full 29er bike, so I'm not an expert by any means on these kind of bikes. I've been mostly a 27.5 kind of guy, but the suspension on this bike, unreal. I would say wouldn't be a bad idea if you're a heavier rider, maybe add a token or two into the rear suspension. But other than that, really have no complaints with this bike. Whoa, whoa. My rear brake. Feeling so loose right now. Bled them last night, but I guess I didn't do a good enough job. I'm just trying to think of what else I can say. Bike jumps really well. It is a big, heavy bike, so if you're not a very good jumper, I'd say probably better off learning on a smaller, lighter bike. Maybe not a big, heavy e-bike. But that being said, if you're comfortable in the air, this bike does just fine. Can be kind of a little bit noisy. Still trying to track down where all the sounds are coming from. But like you can hear the sound in the down tube right now. And then on that climb video, the seat is creaking right now, which really isn't a big deal. Just add some grease, clean her out. It's just the dirt getting in there and getting crunched around. Handles really well, this bike. You can really lean it over. It's really fun. It's a lot like, it's not as, like you think such a big, long bike wouldn't be as nimble as it is, but I've never had a hard time getting it around corners. It'll go where you want it to. I don't know, I've ridden a lot of bikes, just ridden a lot of bikes, so basically I've been riding the same zero bike for the last X amount of years, a long time. Once I get a bike I like to just stay with it, but yeah. But ideally I would have test ridden this bike first, but couldn't be happier with my purchase. Bike's unreal, no complaints at all. There's going to be little details to every bike you'll ever own that you either like or dislike. I haven't really found any major ones that irk me with this bike yet. If you guys want, by the end of the year, I can give like a full-term review on this. I'm just kind of giving my sort of immediate feedback as of right now. Like even that corner, you know, you got to brake at the top and then whip it around, and this bike has no problem with that at all. It's sick. Alright, that's it for the flow trail. Go back up to the top. I'll talk about how this thing rides tech. Time to do the technical part of this review, or tech trail part of this review. We'll slap her into turbo mode. We're gonna ride down this technical trail. It's actually kind of a really good mix because there are a couple nicely made smooth berms as well. But just a quick tech trail, a couple features in it as well. so you can see how this bike handles drops and sort of the bigger hits. It gets really chunky and fast near the bottom, and you'll see that these 29ers just roll over everything. Suspension is really good at soaking things up. I think I finally just got my rear suspension dialed in. It was bottoming out quite a bit at first, so I just added a bit more pressure. I might go to go grab some tokens for it. I'm not sure yet. We'll see how it feels right now. So yeah, let's get into this. It's one of my favorite new trails. But yeah, as you can see, just so smooth over all that stuff. You can still bring the bike back under control when you need to. It is a little, like I was saying earlier, there's something very rattly about it. Yeah, stock tires actually feel great. The Hans Stomp on the back is like just enough grip where it'll bring you under control when it needs to, but at the same time, it's like a fun loose, so you can get a little spicy if you want to, but still feel under control. So here's a nice size drop, a big old berm, and then one of the best berms in the whole mountain. We get into some precise single track, little off camber there at one point, exposed, and this bike handles it no problem. And then maybe little mini climbs. That's where the power of an e-bike excels. So now things are going to get a little bit faster, a little bit chunkier. And it's no problem for this bike. Like, I don't know, I haven't found anything that this bike doesn't really excel at yet. But that being said, I haven't ridden that much with it yet, but I would say these are two pretty good litmus test trails to get an idea of what a bike is going to be like. Perfect machine built flow trail first, techie trail afterwards, a couple substantial features in there. So I think this is a pretty decent review of what to expect with this bike. We'll hit a big drop here. Now, one thing I will say, this is not a bike problem, it's a me problem. I'm not used to the 29er rear wheel, so like when I just hit that drop, the tire came up and hit my butt, and if that slowed your momentum enough, that could be pretty damaging on a big drop. I'd imagine it would shoot you forward. So I don't know, I think that's some technique thing I'm just gonna have to get used to. It's not necessarily the bike's fault. Oh, tight. And one final tight berm. Actually, you know what? Let's go straight back down to the gate. All right, one little last section we'll end off on the trail here. Ooh, next time I could just hop right down there, I guess. This berm you really gotta shut her down for. No support and a complete 180. Alright, so that'll conclude the video. Whew. Yeah. If you have any questions about this bike, I'll be getting in a lot of riding over it, and I can't talk. I'll be getting a lot of riding on this bike over the course of the summer. So if you have any questions, let me know. or about any of the parts I spec'd as well. Mavens, 220 rotor up front, tubeless, ride wrap, any of that stuff. I'll give you my personal opinion and legit opinion. Obviously, I'm way too small of a channel to have sponsors, so this is all paid for with my own money. So, you know, if I'm paying for it with hard cash, then it can't be that bad. All right, everyone, thanks for watching. You know the deal. Like, comment, subscribe, blah, 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 all that stuff. Algorithm stuff. Okay, thanks.